Shalom, my name is Adam Wasser. When it comes to religion, I recognize myself as a modern Orthodox Jew. When it comes to politics, I recognize myself as a socialist Democrat Zionist. On the idea of who should become the President of the United States in 2012, I support Barack Obama. I support him because not only his background, and let me start off with his background. President Barack Obama comes from a moderate family that they were not wealthy. They didn't have much. His father was an immigrant from Africa. His mother was a woman trying to make it as an anthropologist in Indonesia. He was born in Honolulu, Hawaii. He made himself on his own. Yes, he had help, but he did it on his own. He went to Harvard. He built himself up in politics and social action on his own. This is the first reason why I support President Barack Obama. Now, some will say he wasn't born in the United States. Well, last time I checked, Honolulu, Hawaii is a part of the United States, and I can tell you I know people that know people that grew up with him in school in Honolulu. Nonetheless, I also support Barack Obama because of his policies towards the environment, towards green energy, and even towards Israel. Many people will say that President Barack Obama is not a pro-American president towards Israel. I will disagree because when you look at history, when you look at his policies, not what he says, but his actual policies that have been imprinted in Israel, he's one of the strongest American leaders that has supported Israel. Just last week, he gave more money to Israel than to build up the missile defense of Israel against Hezbollah and Hamas. In fact, when you look at the American budget, you will find that President Barack Obama has spent more money on defending and protecting Israel than any other American president has in history. Now, yes, President Barack Obama has said that he supports a two-state solution, but this is an American policy. This is something that every American president since George Bush Sr. has supported. It is something that if you go against it as an American president, you go against American policy, and therefore you're going to have a more balagan, a more harder issue on your hand than going against it. Meaning, President Barack Obama has to support a two-state solution because the American presidents since Bush Sr., Clinton, George Bush Jr. have supported. Therefore, he has to. If he goes against that, he throws American policy in the garbage. I'm not saying that I'm against that, but that's how he's going, and if you're going against him in that policy, you have to go against George Bush, Clinton, and George Bush Sr. He has also had a stronger hand against Iran than any other president we've ever seen in American history. Obama has put more sanctions and more problems on Iran than anyone else. And he has pushed the world into going with his policy. In fact, a leak from the White House came out last week that said that Israel and America have briefed each other on what's going to happen if a military action has to take place. That being said, with the economy, when Obama took over in 2008, we were almost in a depression. If some will say we were in a depression, but today we are not. We have our problems, and we are not in such great shape, but we are a lot better than we were 4 years ago. And if that's not true, then we really need to take a nap and start daydreaming about what was going on 4 years ago, because I'm not so young, but I do remember that 4 years ago it was a lot worse, and unemployment was at 9.5%. Now we are at 8%, 8.2, depending on how you look at it. But we are improving, and the economy is going forward. Now, if you remember, in 2008, the Republicans said this man will be a one-term president. Barack Obama will be a one-term president. Before he was even elected, the Republicans were saying he's going to be a one-term president. Why? What was the thing? What were they so against President Barack Obama when he was running? They were so against him that's up for you to... I personally believe because he was black. Now, there's people that will get very jumpy and say, oh, this is you're trying to make this into a race issue. I believe this is more of a race issue than we like to admit. But the fact that they were saying that he would be a one-term president before they even gave him a chance to be president is very suspicious to me. And the fact that they're still saying that he's going to be a one-term president is very suspicious to me, because he has done a good job. If you can say that McCain, who the Republicans weren't too happy with in 2008. I supported Barack Obama, but I used to be a Republican, but I never liked McCain. And most Republicans really don't like him. If you really look at it, he's a moderate, whatever you want to say. But if McCain was president right now, would the country really be better? Would it really be that? What Barack Obama took over was a very serious and hard situation. Anyone who would have been president at this time would have had a serious, even Romney, a hard time dealing with it. I think President Barack Obama has taken a good stand and a good position on trying to make this economy right. Yes, he gave a $4 billion stimulus package to companies, and he said millions of jobs would be created. But you know something? He did this, and yeah, hundreds of thousands of jobs were created, not millions, but he saved cities like Detroit. He saved cities like Cleveland that were almost going under. And now the car industry of America is the greatest in the world, and we have a stimulus situation going on that the country is doing better. And Republicans said, no, we don't agree with this stimulus package. But in truth, if they would have never given this stimulus package, if Obama would have not have done this stimulus package, we would be in a lot worse situation than we are now. And remember, George Bush Jr. gave huge stimulus packages to the banks. I can't even remember, $6 billion, whatever, billion dollars to the banks of America before Obama was even president. So the Republicans were doing it at the same time. So, nonetheless, why don't I like Romney? What is my big problem? Well, first of all, Romney, when he was a teenager, was a bully. And excuse my language, a fucking bully. He took a kid that he said, oh, he was gay, ripped his hair, cut his hair off, called him names, and made a fool of him. And this is one incident, and don't tell me that that was the only incident that ever happened. This is the only recorded incident. God knows how many other incidents there were. His father was the governor of Michigan. He was brought up in wealth and politics, and he made himself, when he did the Winter Olympics, mind you, not the Summer Olympics, Winter Olympics in Utah, which are a lot easier than the Summer Olympics. They're hard, but nowhere as close as the Summer Olympics. And he put it together. Then he runs against Kennedy, and almost beat Kennedy in Massachusetts, but he lost. So then he runs for governor of Massachusetts. Massachusetts, a liberal state, Boston as its main city. And it's amazing, I gotta give him credit, as a Mormon, that he even got elected in that state. He serves one term, and now he is running for president. He ran for president once, he lost, now he's running for president again. Cheney said something interesting last week. He said that what's her name? The governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin. She should have never been the nominee for vice president for McCain back in 2008. Because she only had 2 years as governor in Alaska. She didn't have the experience. Well, how is it that Romney... So Cheney basically says that Romney should find a proper vice president, not somebody like Michelle, not Michelle, Alaskan governor, Sarah Palin, sorry. So the whole thing is, well, Romney's only been governor for 4 years of Massachusetts, so what makes him qualified for president? Anyways, I don't like his past as a bully. I don't like the fact that he has done more in outsourcing than can be imagined. He talks about building jobs in America. His building jobs in America is doing outsourcing. If you look at Romney's history, he's an outsourcer. Outsourcing means he takes American jobs and sends it to China, sends it to Thailand, sends it to wherever the productivity can be greater with lesser expense on the worker. Meaning, Romney was supporting paying people in Thailand $1 an hour for jeans, corduroy jeans or Levi jeans, whatever, that cost $30 in America. So you got to give him credit for making products cheaper in America, but you got to take the credit to him taking away jobs in America. One of his main jobs was to find a company that wasn't doing well, and instead of taking that company and making it better, he would sell it, destroy it, and send it to China. Obama, on the other hand, was a man who would take something that was falling apart, like the car industry in Detroit, and build it up again. So we have two sides here. We have one side says it's not doing well, get rid of it, send it somewhere else, make more money. The other side says no, we are Americans, we need to be strong, we need to have jobs, and we need to make it grow, whether it works or not, but we need to try. Romney, another thing I really don't like about Romney is his policy towards Israel is almost identical to Obama. When he says things about Israel, it's what Obama says. He says that he there's a little confusion in CNN. He was asked on CNN, do you want to move the American embassy to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv? And he said this is up to the Israeli government. And then they said, well, Wolfler, who was asking this, he said, well, the Israeli government's been wanting to move the embassy to Jerusalem since '67. So if they said yes, well, you'll do it? And he says, well, I have to talk to them about it, which means he's not going to do it. Because George Bush Jr. also said he was going to move the embassy to Jerusalem. He never did. This is the same thing with Romney. In principle, they all want to move the embassy to Jerusalem, but they won't. Now, we got to talk about Jonathan Pollard. Hillary Clinton says Jonathan Pollard, who spied for Israel, he was working for the Navy, and he gave secret documents from America about Iran to the Israelis. Hillary Clinton says he's not going to be released. Now, every president since Jonathan Pollard has been arrested has denied Jonathan Pollard's release. So there's nothing unusual. And I don't think Jonathan Pollard, God forbid, when Jonathan Pollard is old and gray and he's almost dead, they will release him. But I don't think that's going to, I don't think he's going to be released anytime soon, no matter who's the president. He is a symbol of America telling the Jews, if you spy for Israel, we're going to lock you up. He's the symbol of American protection against the Jews towards Israel. That's another story. That's how I look at it. Anyways, my video can only be 15 minutes, and I'm sure a lot of you are already getting bored by me speaking, but I really do support President Barack Obama, and I think a lot of the reason why Jews went away from President Barack Obama is, one, his father was a Muslim. He has an Islamic name, and his reverend in Chicago when he was younger was very anti-Jewish, and these things destroyed him, and they really put him down. But you know something? President Barack Obama is a Christian. He's not a religious Christian, but he's a Christian. His father was gone when he was a little kid. His Christian mother, raised him for the bulk of his life. And I've had rabbis in the past that were very racist, and I've had rabbis that I'm like, you don't like black people, you don't like non-Jews, and I walk away. But there are times where I don't walk away because I like the rabbi, so I stay there. So that means because I had a racist rabbi, I'm a racist? No. I just liked him. It's a long story. That's how it goes. And I know many of us, millions of us, have had the same situation. I also have a problem with Romney because to me he's a phony. To me he's somebody that really talks against the hate. He's taking people that just don't like Obama, they just don't like him, and he's using that. And he has no policy. He has no vision. Anyways, I'm running out of time. God bless you all, and I really hope that you really think about who you're going to vote for, but you ask yourself, why am I voting for this person, and really get into the truth of it all, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. And you need to find the truth out. I support President Barack Obama for 2012, and I hope that you will too. Amen. And God bless America and Israel. Take care.